Hey everyone, Loz here, your friendly city planner. Welcome back to City Skylines. I apologize for the late nature of this one. I try and keep to a schedule, but if you can't tell by the sound of my voice, I'm recovering from the flu now. So, let's jump straight on. So yeah, we did some nice work back here with these roads last episode. There's some cool stuff. And I was trying to work out what I want to do today, and I only really just decided now. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to add another intersection in here that will be, another interchange, much like this one. We'll see how it works. We'll try and get it nice and neat. And yeah, this is quite heavy traffic, so I'm going to go ahead and start on that right now. First thing I might do, well, let's quickly pause the game first up. We'll remove just that. Right, I might actually use this. That's pretty good positioning there. Actually, we'll remove that piece just so it doesn't get in the way. We'll let those trucks float around midair. And then what I might do, I might actually change, what type of road is this? With turning lanes. So it's got a turning lane in the middle. Do I care so much about the turning lane? I feel like I should. I feel like in an industrial area I should care about the turning lane. I might actually come back through here and change all of these. There we go. We'll just quickly upgrade those so that they've all got the turning lane in the middle, so that, you know, they, well, I could probably leave, yeah, I could probably have left some of them as the ones with this one, with it marked off, the 4-lane road with the block bit in the middle, the median strip, that's what it's called. Now, I'm going to make this all 4 lanes wide for a very good reason. Because now that we've come back here, I'm going to, actually, I might take that section out. Let's quickly, okay, now I need this to line up, lift this up off the ground to maybe, how's that height? That looks alright. And we'll bring it around so that it matches. Ugh. That's doing something weird with the ground there. So, what I think I need to do, I'm going to have to do this in sections. Damn, that's a pain. So if I do one there, hopefully this kind of works out okay. I need to, that looks pretty close to straight. It's got a bit of a kink in it. That's alright. And then this one, for that we might just quickly switch radar key on because it's probably complaining about the key being there. Okay. So that's, look, that's not the greatest. Let's have another attempt at that. Yeah, we'll bring it out about there. How does that look? That looks, so I'm not looking at the heights at the moment. I'm just looking at, you know, the curves as it comes around. It's going to be interesting trying to connect the on-ramps and off-ramps on this bit with the curve. We'll see what we work out there. That's going to be tricky. First thing I will do is reconnect this. So we'll flick back over to our 1 lane. There we go. Whoops. Why is that not? Oh, because it's 2 lane. Is it 2 lane? Nope, that looks 2 lane, 1 way. Is that 2 lane, 1 way? 2 lane highway. Where's our 2 lane 1 way road? It's in this one, of course it is. There we go. Okay, so that positioning isn't wrong. Let's try that again. This time, bring it out that way a bit more. Okay, that looks a bit better. That'll do, that'll do. And I'm going to have to drop this node down a little bit. Just a little. And maybe even a little more. Bring it down. Is there another one around there? Wow, the next one down is all the way back down there. Okay. Look, I can live with that. Can you guys live with that? I think I can live with that. Bring this one down a bit more. Drop the key. Drop the key back further up. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, now this part down here. Let's get this looking a bit better. Alright, there's that. relatively okay. I think that works. I think it works. Next, we want to quickly add... Well, we want our highway off-ramps. Off-ramps and on-ramps. So... It's these ones. Highway ramp. Okay. Which direction is it's coming from this side? It's... I actually want to see if I can... Actually, no. We won't do that straight away. Let's not do that. Let's go with the straight. Actually, for this part, because it's already curving, it might be better off if we can start it back here. I wonder what kind of angle we can go with there. I almost want to have it look like it's... There we go. That might be a bit better. Except it does that to the road. Alright, let's actually do something else here. So, that didn't... None of those ideas worked. I might just bring this back straight a little bit further. So that we can just have the on-ramps and off-ramps coming straight off the side of it. So maybe to that point, and then we start the curve. And we can bring it back around like so. Now, the on-ramp, if we... Sorry, we'll go with the off-ramp first. If we take it from that point... And what am I doing? Keep it in the right menu. We'll go straight to start with. Space already... What? Raid Anarchy's on. What are you talking about, space already occupied? No, it wasn't. It is. It is. What? I don't know what the hell was just happening there. Raid Anarchy was on, but it was telling me that... Anyway. That's a little less than ideal. Okay. Disable the snap. Just so we get... How's that? Oh, look, it's gone and done funny things again. We can't do too much about that. So maybe let's just... Okay. So that will be... This will be the ramp that comes off the highway up onto the 5-lane road, and this one will be the one that goes back down onto the highway. Now maybe from this point I will lift the terrain up, and how far down do we want to go? Maybe about there. Oh no, wait, that forced elevated. Maybe there we go. Alright, so it was about time to speed that up. There's still a lot more of this to do. This mod that elevates the terrain under the road, or you can select what type of road you want it to have, whether it force elevated, force bridges, force the terrain up underneath. It works pretty well. I actually really like it. You can end up with some weird things if you're not prepared to take the time to keep adjusting it. But yeah, so this on-ramp, you can see some weird angles at the pillars. It was bothering me, even with the node editor, which would normally fix that. It wasn't. So I ended up deciding to make the on-ramp a lot longer, and to keep things somewhat symmetrical, I do come back and do the off-ramp on the other side just as the same length. Again, with the node editor, coming back through, adjusting the ramps, getting everything looking a lot more, well, relatively realistic. You're not going to get 100% with this game. It's not built for that. And there are some things about the roads that you'll never be able to work your way around to make it look 100% perfect when it comes to elevated terrain like this. If it's completely flat, it's fine. So you may have noticed I elevated the highway a little bit on one of them. That was to get it up level with the other highway. There's a reason why I did that, and we'll come back to that in a minute. Lifting up the terrain and smoothing it out next to... I wasn't sure if I should take the key and actually join it up back to the main... Well, the big one that you see in the background there, but I decided not to, and just have this short bit with a, just a little dirt hill underneath the side there. I think I'm pretty happy with how that bit worked out. There's,
I did try and do it on the other side and it looked horrible, just because of how close it was to the road. Smoothing it out here, you can see now that, well, now you can't, but the terrain ended up looking a lot better. It looks much better than it did. Now this side, this was probably the best I could do with the road placement where it was. You can see I'm trying to add, this is where it ended up looking horrible. I was trying to add a section in down that part, but it just wasn't working. So raising the highway up a little bit more, and that's more than, that's just a very small little hill, that's fine.
I think that looks pretty good. When I come back later and add some props in there, it'll work. That oddly shaped intersection though, like oddly shaped interchange. I might come, I don't know, maybe, look, we'll leave it as is for now because I don't even know if it's going to help the traffic flow or if it's going to make it worse. The other thing I might do as well while I'm here is let's just fix up some of this terrain so that we can actually get some farms down on this side. It's not a great brush, is it? When I increase that brush size, we'll bring that around just like so. Just on part of it, not the whole way. And then I'll come back over with this one. I wonder if this is just going to undo everything. Nope, that's not too bad. We'll be able to get some stuff down there. Alright, so now I believe this intersection will work. Maybe? We're going to find out. I need to quickly touch up all these bits down here, just fill those out. There we go. Now, I don't even know how something's going to build there. We might just dezone that. We're getting a bit too ridiculous. Dezone all that. Like, the other side's fine. These bits along here are fine. Maybe this is a bit ridiculous. We'll see how it pops up. This side's okay. Alright, so we've got 4 lanes all the way through there. That should help that area a bit more. And why have we got no water down here? Of course, because there's no water pipes. Helps if I connect it. There we go. Okay, he should be happy. What to do next? Okay, so next. You know what? I'm kind of this weird kind of bean-shaped little dam. It's kind of growing on me slowly. So we'll just fix this up quickly, just to get these chunky bits of terrain out of the side. I'll drop this brush size right down to single because as I take the chunks out of the side of it, there's one. I don't want it going too far back into, you know, the other side. There we go. Okay, this is going to look. This will look good. All right, we're getting this just right as we go around. It's brilliant. Now that you guys can see a lot better on this side what's actually happening. So because I'm just removing that, well, I'm dropping that single square, if you will, down to, you know, just some, I'll say, random height down here. It's not random, it's just something that I picked up from a point down here. Okay, it looks a bit messy, but now when I go back out, it looks fine. And all you see is the water. Oh, and this chunk in here. Okay, let's quickly fix that. Done. Problem solved. Alright, what were you complaining about? There's nothing there. I saw nothing. So, okay, that's that. That's that. I like that. The other thing... So, I will come back and do a park or something around there. I haven't decided what to do here yet. Like how this road, this tunnel needs to remain. And how this connects, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Alright guys, so I think I've decided what I'm going to do next. This park in the center here. This will become something today. It will be magical.
All right. So first thing I did, which I just realized I edited out, all those paths that I had around the outside edge, they are gone. They were just an outline to get an idea of where the park was going to be. Now, here, I'm just trying to work out. I do like these wooden bridges, but I didn't think they suited very well. And I was just trying out a few different types of paths. And you know what? I settled on the concrete. It'll look all right. Now, one of the things that I've noticed while doing these other parks and stuff around this city is that the paths actually, they're kind of one of the main features, if you will. You have to lay down the paths before you do anything else. You can't come back through and add the paths later. So starting out with the paths, I wanted to go with something that just looked a bit, you know, well, you guys can see what's happening here. It's all over the place. It's just meant to be somewhere for people to wander around and escape the city and, you know, all the rubbish that goes on around the city. Here I was trying something. I wanted to see if I could spiral the footpath around and raise it up so they would walk around up to like a lookout sort of thing at the point. But what it does to the terrain, like if the terrain didn't go all chunky like that, it would have been okay. And I guess I could do it on a slightly larger scale, but it didn't work there. And as you can see here, I'm having trouble with these bridges, the foot bridges and Road Anarchy being on, and then even without it being on. And I gave up then. I do come back and fix that up later. But I decided to give that up for a moment because it was actually frustrating me, and come through and fix up the heights on all these paths. Now, a few places I do raise the end of it up, just so it's a clear end to the path where they'd be able to stand and look out over a portion of the gardens or park or whatever you want to call it. I'm not quite sure how it's going to end up, if there's going to be many trees or if it's all going to be small shrubbery. We'll find out when we get there. I'm just kind of working it out as I go. And yeah, hopefully it's going to work out really well. So there's the basic path layout, and I've intentionally connected the paths all the way through to create a shorter distance from either side of the city or either side of the path to encourage that extra foot traffic coming through the middle. Now this, I normally would have edited this out, but I just wanted to, give you guys an idea. This is how I pick out which plants I'm going to be using for particular parts. I just lay a bunch out until I've decided on 3 or 4, and then I go through. And I had decided at that point, and yeah. Alright, but first things first, I needed to get fences down, because a canal this size, that would not be there without being fenced off, I don't think. Not in a place like this, not in the middle of a city with water flowing like that, because apparently water flows like jelly. So fences first. That was actually I think that was the only part that I edited out, the deciding which fences, because I actually spent a lot of time trying to pick which ones, and I ended up just going with the standard chain link fence. Nothing else really suited as though it would have been, this is all built and paid for by the local council. It's not anything super fancy. And here, I was getting quite frustrated because the brushes wouldn't work for me at the size that I wanted. So I ended up going through one at a time, and I thought, hang on, maybe I'll use the prop line tool and just do all these curves all over the place, and it'll end up just looking random. I realise now, watching it back, that it was actually quicker placing them one at a time. Which, yeah, I guess I could have worked that out while I was doing it, but that's the way I did it. I'll remember that for next time. So here, this is a little meant to be a little bit random because it's fenced off. It's not really accessible, and I went with the ferns and those type of plants because I imagine that would be a lot of moisture from the canals getting up there. I don't know. It kind of made sense in my head at the time. And some smaller ones to fill out underneath, just to get it looking like it's all a bit overgrown outside the fence barrier. And yes, some grass down along underneath that just to fill it out that little bit more. So this bit that I've done so far, it was actually just a test. I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but this is about... after seeing how that worked, I decided that it looked pretty good and to push ahead and start doing the rest. But one thing I didn't do. Normally I would take note. I would actually have a pen and paper down beside me and write down which plants I'm using and even which order I'm placing them in. Yeah, a bit OCD, but that's the way I've done all the others in the past. I didn't do that this time, and I got them a bit mixed up, and so these other ones, you can tell there's something about those that they don't look the same as the first one I did. And yeah, I still haven't worked out here that it's not actually quicker to use the prop line tool to place the smaller ones. But yeah, that's next time I won't be doing that again. So yeah, I would normally go through that process. I didn't do that this time, and I completely missed out one of the varieties of plant that I used around the middle. That's why it didn't look as good. And I did realize here, so why you see me going back through with one of the larger ones thinking it doesn't look as full, it doesn't look as good. So I went back through with one of the larger ones and not realizing that there's a lot of these smaller ones, and I'm looking through trying to find them now. And here I go. So I'd completely missed out this whole extra variety plant. I did fix it up in the end, as you see, again with the prop line tool doing the curves that, you know, was not as quick as I thought. Yeah, so next time I'll be making my notes again. Won't be making that mistake. You do some odd things when your head's a bit blocked up with the flu. So that's pretty much that outline around the canals done, and I may even continue that same plant theme that I don't know what you would call it. I might continue that up all the way down the length of the canals, you know, just because I did intend to add props along the inside of the canals just to help it look a bit better. But yeah, so just going back through and adding a few more of the smaller props in just to fill it out that little bit more. It did need a little bit more, just to get it looking just right, you know, the way I saw it anyway. And that's the outline of the canals done. And this is where we might leave it for today. There's still a lot to do. Like, that was a lot of work, and there's still a lot more to do around the other sections of the park. It will all be... Oh, actually, I don't know if they'll be the same theme or different themes for the 3 different areas. Alright guys, you know what to do. Hit that like, dislike, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. See you next time.